This is a certified hood classic.
Another one.
All rise, order in the court. Kind of Wild's here, and I believe Flush as well. Oh, and Mikey's here too.
Hello.
I running late again. I'm sorry. I got here with, I don't know, a minute after, I think. I'm getting close. Maybe tomorrow I'll get this right and figure it out properly.
Yeah, I was ready for you to not make it at all. I checked my phone and didn't have any messages. I said, all right.
That's a good sign, though, because, you know,
I was seconds away from kicking it off.
We were cutting it close. I was going, listen, contractor bags, if I don't have to buy a giant thing of contractor bags, which are not cheap, I will absolutely run over by mom and dad's and grab the ones that they say, oh, we have so many, we'll never get through them in a lifetime. I said, okay, well, I'll be right over.
Wow.
So I said, and then we get to talking, and I told Mikey I left myself 25 minutes to get here, and
tomorrow's 30. Speaking of 30,
seriously, yeah.
We're kicking things off. 2 cases for you today. The first one's kind of long, but Judge Tammy here, we're on a first name basis. Her and Miss Carpenter are going to butt heads over some really crazy common sense things.
All right, I'm ready. Are we
Let's
ready? I was here, and Colty's coming. All right, we're good.
Raise your right hand for me.
Oh, she's.
You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right. You put your hand down. Ms. Janvier?
She's in the airport?
Are you? And they have a pharmacy.
I can hear you.
Go sit down, please.
Well, I don't want to sit down and stop until I get to my gate because I don't want to risk missing my flight.
Hey,
I'm
priorities.
walking to my gate now, but is the noise a distraction or?
No.
I'm hearing pretty clearly. Let's see if we can go on.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Cassie Carpenter.
And Ms. Carpenter, what is your relation to Patrick Carpenter?
I'm his wife.
And how long?
Dawn, my God, 30 months. Remember, that's a good afternoon to you.
This is an OG call.
That's pretty OG as far as I'm concerned.
You ain't kidding. Farmer Chad, our first $2 of the day, the Fuss and Fight Express. You're on it. Colty says thank you.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for 9 years.
Congrats.
And Ms. Carpenter, did you call the police in reference to a domestic disturbance between yourself and Mr. Carpenter prior? Do you recall?
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Do you recall approximately how many times you called the police regarding altercations with your husband, Mr. Carpenter?
I don't really know if I don't know if a number off the top of my head. I mean, it's probably been about 3, maybe.
Who doesn't?
Just off the top of my head.
And excuse me. Additionally, Ms. Carpenter, were you aware that after the incident, occurring in February of 2021, that you were not to have any contact with Mr. Carpenter?
Uh-oh.
I was not aware until recently when I spoke with someone on the phone.
Oh.
And are you currently working?
I'm self-employed.
Gary, thank you.
YouTube creator.
And to your knowledge, does Mr. Carpenter work?
Yes. He also, I guess you could consider it. I don't know if you would consider it self-employment or not, but yes, he does work.
And is Mr. Carpenter the primary breadwinner in your home?
At this moment, yes, he makes the majority of the income.
Do you and Mr. Carpenter have any children together?
We do.
How
We have
many
3
children?
total. We have 3 total. One, two are my stepchildren, and 1 between us both.
And do they live in the home with you all as well?
2 of them live in the home.
And are you primarily responsible for the care of those children?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you rely on Mr. Carpenter at all to assist you with caring for those children?
Most definitely. It's a team effort for sure. We went from having one child in the home to having my stepdaughter come down, which has been a challenge for us both. So yeah, we definitely work together.
And would it be fair to say that you don't really wish to testify against Mr. Carpenter today?
I love Psych, by the way.
Not at all. I'm only here because I don't want him to be charged for something that Patrick is not a violent person. You know, we argue like regular married people. If it gets too heated, I call, like, my thing is to call just to mediate, if nothing else, because I never wanted to get to that point. Not saying that
I don't think what the police are for.
But a lot of people think that all the time, and they just blow things off and things happen. So
I agree with you. That just instantly reminds me of so many of so many times when we've heard, you know, people kind of abuse 911.
Yeah.
For things that are not emergency, or that just you know, you call the cops out. That's not what they're there.
Yeah, you're calling cops on fast food places. They're calling cops on everything. Here's the big thing. She's already admitted that she has been around him and didn't know she wasn't supposed to be around him.
Yeah. That's
they're living together. I mean, that's what I'm getting. They're living there. They're acting like nothing happened. They're just living together.
Which is not good when you've got one of those.
And who hasn't called the cops on their significant other, husband or wife, 3 or 4 times? I can't remember how many. Never.
BLT with over easy egg. Is the egg on the BLT, Flusha? I don't know what to think about that.
I don't like that. But I saw somebody said they went to Psych Con.
Yeah.
Huge.
Thank you, just saying.
I've watched every episode of Psych probably 20 times. I'm a huge fan of Psych.
Yeah, so they're going to put some big Tiff dogs. They're going to put some pictures in the Discord.
I love it.
Nice.
Heated arguments or heated discussions, to assist us both, I usually reach out to the police to either, you know, help calm the situation down, or ask him to, you know, leave the home temporarily or whatever the case may be, which has been done in the past. So, you know, that's what I expected to happen. I didn't expect it to be, you know, to this extreme. And like I said in my statement I sent, I do feel like, you know, we both learned from it, because now, you know, if we do have a disagreement, it doesn't get to that point, because neither one of us want it to escalate to where, you know, either of us feel like we need to get the police involved, because, you know, this has just been a lot. It's affected our lives in a big way. So
we want each other to be scared of 911.
21, when you called the police to mediate, was the defendant, Mr. Carpenter, was he arrested at that time?
2021. Where? I want to say he was. I believe that was Brookstone. Yeah, I want to say that's the incident where he was arrested.
Although I should say in certain states, though, you know, they're kind of, you remember the jokes, you know, in California, we're waiting for the mediator basically to come. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes I guess you can kind of push that a little bit, but still, I would.
Those typically aren't for, I mean, domestic violence situations. Please show up for those. Those can be very dangerous. You don't know what you're walking into.
Absolutely.
You know, somebody's calling about the other person. You don't know if they're armed. You don't know what you're getting into. And they've got to really take it seriously. It's almost, I don't know how seriously she's taking it, but she reminds me of one of those people how, like, the cops will show up to arrest somebody. Like, they've called it the cops on, you know, their other person, and they'll be like, "Don't you dare take them to jail. What are you doing taking them to jail? I didn't call you here for that." Well, too bad. Too bad.
Hey, I saw that one, the tall, is her name Caitlin or whatever? It was like the most viewed ever WNBA game. So good for them. That
Oh, yeah.
The one, I saw a story.
The one all the other players hate.
Yeah, I saw a story where I don't think it's the WNBA, it was when she was still playing college. And she got flown in a private jet to the game, rest of them, basically on a nice Greyhound. to go to the game. Could you imagine? Oh, I would hate that.
No animosity at
Oh,
all.
man.
And do you recall what occurred at that time?
I believe that the officer who just made a statement, her as well as another officer, came once they were called out. And this is if this is the correct incident I'm thinking of. They came in. If the situation had already, I guess, kind of calmed itself. Patrick had ordered a ride share to get ready to leave. And so it was already kind of calming down. We were both still upset though. So when they came in, we were, both telling our side to the officers and, kind of like going back and forth. They were kind of mediating, which was what I wanted. And everything kind of calmed down and it seemed cool. We started talking to the officer about,
Yeah, she seems like she's downplaying everything.
Like my business and our pets and things of that sort. And then.
So is it safe to assume that it's a good possibility that the cops are called for a real reason, not just to come and mediate?
I mean, he got arrested.
Right. So that kind of shows you that
something happened.
Yeah.
That's when they came toward him and said that they were going to be arresting him for the charges listed.
So that was the incident in 2021. And then you called the police again in 2022 because, again, you had been in an altercation with your husband. Is that correct?
Okay, so I'm probably mixing up the incidents. The most recent incident is when he was arrested. So I don't know if that was 2021 or 2022, but I think we were at two different residences at the time. So I'm probably happy birthday.
That's right. Don't forget our very own peer birthday today, or yes. No, she said it would be. I
don't know. We did it during members only. Yeah, it's crazy. Australia's it's on its own clock.
But Mikey said he's going to sing "Happy Birthday" to you during the chase today. So just be ready for that.
Happy birthday!
We've been planning that all night.
But I believe there was one incident where I don't remember if he was arrested that both incidents or not. Honestly,
I would remember everything.
I want to
absolutely. If I ever had to call the cops,
everything
100%. Hell, I remember just a couple of times a million years ago. Where I even thought about it because it was such a volatile situation. Like I remember that. I definitely remember.
I can tell you every time I've ever called the cops. I called the cops when somebody blew up my mailbox one time. I know exactly what he said. Exactly what I mean, just being so nonchalant about, just domestic violence. I mean, come on, it's just domestic violence. Come on.
Wasn't, and the other one he was, but he might have been arrested both. I don't want to give you the wrong answer because I really can't recall. It's a couple of years ago.
All right. Just one additional question for you, Ms. Carpenter. Is it fair to say that you love your husband?
Oh, most definitely. I mean,
he's my ride or die.
But that's normal. It's in a normal way. Yes, I do. I love Patrick. I wouldn't have been with him for 16 years, married 9 years if I didn't love my husband. So
thank you. No additional questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. White.
Oh, here he comes.
There he is. I was going to say awkward silence.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Carpenter, would it be fair to say that you're not afraid of Mr. Carpenter?
No, I'm not afraid of Patrick. I'm not afraid of Patrick. That's not something.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I mean, I'm saying in a situation with your husband or wife and a DV alleged potentially that kind of situation, right, I'm not going to forget that.
But you're calling it a lot, probably. So, and you're not involved. You're just calling the cops.
Yeah, so that's a whole different world. Yeah, who did blow up your mailbox? How did that?
That was when Unsolved Mysteries created.
Uh-oh. We don't know.
He's not something that I fear at all. So,
would you like to continue to have contact with Mr. Carpenter?
I mean, most definitely. Like I said, we raise kids together. We pay bills together. At this moment, he's the primary income, so it will heavily affect my life and the upbringing of my children if we can't be around each other. I mean, it's almost impossible to work together and raise our kids if we can't have any contact. So, because of our past mistakes. So, yeah, most definitely would not want that.
Vicky, real quick, I have a question. What's your favorite thing about a vagina? Vicky, I said Amanda, not you. I'm dipping my toast in.
Play something. Let's go.
And in between the 2021 incident and the 2022 incident, did you and Mr. Carpenter move?
I believe we moved, yes.
No.
Leave you moved? What?
I don't get that.
She's got so much
amnesia.
Anything else from the state?
How do you not know?
No.
Don, thank you.
All right, does the defense have anything to present?
We'll make sure he doesn't get it. Gets it.
Welcome back, Colty.
No, Your Honor, just argument.
All right, make your arguments.
Your Honor, in reference to the actual bond order that the state submitted, one thing I would like to bring your attention to is the fact that Mr. Carpenter actually never signed the bond order.
No, sir. Not gonna do it. Because if it's pandemic, they weren't signing paperwork, and even if it's not, if I've done first appearance, that's why I know it upside down and inside out. Most people don't sign their bond conditions, but those bond conditions are read to them in court, and they're given a copy of the bond conditions. And if he got out on bond and he's not aware of what his bond conditions are, then he's the dummy. I'm not gonna not read something that's affecting my liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
So go on to your next argument.
Judge, they take everything very nonchalantly, as you can tell.
Carpenter, in reference to the actual thing, when looking at revoking a bond, of course, you have to consider whether or not the defendant is going to intimidate the witness, whether the witness is going to be intimidated. As Ms. Carpenter testifies, she's not intimidated by Mr. Carpenter. She would like to still have contact with him. As you can see from the fact that Mr. Carpenter is here in court, despite the fact that there is at least a chance that he could be going to jail today, he's clearly not trying to run from the situation. He is clearly not a flight risk in the situation. And even if you find that the bond condition has been violated, you do not have to actually throw Mr. Carpenter in jail. You can add extra conditions to help impose the fact that this situation does not happen again. One thing I can potentially recommend is, due to the fact that, of course, these cases are family violence, an extra condition of the bond could be that he be required to take a family violence intervention course, as opposed to actually throwing him in jail.
Hi, Terry.
In addition, Your Honor, as you can see, Ms. Carpenter is prepared to go on a flight right now. As she stated, they do have children together, and right now, Mr. Carpenter is the only one who can take care of them at the moment. So if he were to be arrested today, then there would be no one to go and take care of the kids. So
well, she's putting a lot of trust in what decision I'm gonna make, because she already at the airport.
She's a flight risk.
Yeah, just in case.
I'm on my way back home, actually. Like I was out of town for my mother's 60th, and then that's when I was notified of the court date. So I'm just trying to be here however I can be here to help the situation. So
Ms. Janvier,
I'm here for my man.
Yes, Your Honor. So the state would contend that there has been a violation, clearly, of the bond condition to stay away. The defendant, the victim herself, is advised that they continue to live together. He is the breadwinner in the home, and that they are raising the children together in the home.
I'm the bread loser at my
The state would point out to the court that there are two cases which involve the defendant and the victim. She is a victim in both cases, and although the victim is advised that she may not have any fear today, it is evident that on both occasions she had concerns for where the victim's anger or would lead him, or where his actions would lead him, as to whether or not she was safe at those particular times. Additionally, Your Honor, the fact that the defendant has violated the bond conditions would show that he does pose a risk to potentially committing a felony at any point between now and actually being heard on these cases, and that it does pose a safety concern to the community, as the wife that he has been with for, I guess she said 16 years,
17.
has called the police on multiple occasions, so many occasions, that she is confusing the occasions, doesn't know which ones at which time she's called. At this time, the state would say that the defendant has violated the bond conditions and that his bond should be revoked.
Ooh.
Mr. Carpenter, come up here to the computer so I can see you and look you in your face. Miss Carpenter.
And lock you up.
I'm gonna need
Yes,
y'all.
ma'am.
I just learned this because I'm old, but I pay attention. I need y'all to take us off the group chat. I'm really gonna need y'all to take us off the group chat. The police are not here to mediate your situation. Don't keep calling the police because you want somebody to talk y'all down and to make your marriage work. That's what therapy is for. But stop calling us.
Take us off the group
This is
chat.
ridiculous. Well, I call him, but I don't want him to go to jail. Well, I'll call him, but I don't want y'all to do anything to him. You are wasting our time. And I'm just going to be honest about it. I take domestic violence too seriously to get caught up in y'all's little wrapped up
So she's basically saying what we said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
thing. I love him so much, but he wasn't going to do nothing to me. But I just wanted to call the police to moderate the situation. Police don't moderate.
Well, she held that all the way towards the end too.
Everybody's like, she looks bored. I was thinking in my head, nah, she's just simmering.
Yeah, she was. I
Simmering.
was kind of surprised that she didn't say anything in the beginning, and she was almost going along with it there for a minute about talking about them coming and mediating. That's interesting. I love this. She's pretty awesome.
Slow simmer.
They'll come there, they're gonna figure out what's happening. But you heard that officer say domestic violence is one of the most unsafe situations that officers find themselves in. Because as soon as they show up on the scene, 5 minutes ago, you were calling them because you were scared and he was threatening you. The next thing you know, you show up and y'all both aggressing the officers. Don't take my man. Just take us off the group chat. Y'all get some counseling. Because we're not here to mediate for you or manage your relationship. We're not here for that. Those police officers got situations where somebody's life is in danger. And y'all calling us to mediate. Well, I just call him because, I love him, but we was having an argument and then get counseling. In fact, that's what I'm going to order. I'm going to do exactly what Mr. White said. Mr. Carpenter, you go into family violence counseling. You are going to attend family violence counseling. Now, whether y'all decide after this case is over to attend something together, but you're going to counseling. And
if I've learned anything, I would sit right there and say, absolutely, yes, ma'am. Give that a shot. Sure, absolutely, I'm on it. If I've learned anything, these programs, inside and outside of jail, or even to the court system, are very, very near and dear to their heart.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not. It's something. Remember when we watched the parole thing as the biggest thing it seemed that they took into account when somebody was being paroled.
Work your programs.
Exactly. The programs they worked and that they committed to and completed. And this dude should not be silent right now. Dude should be saying it all about it. Absolutely. Anything for my wife and by the way, anything that's going to keep me from getting locked up at this moment.
Yes. Anything to keep me out of jail.
You might want to do that for that reason too.
The no contact provision stays in place.
Oh,
So I'm not modifying it. I'm irritated right now because I really feel like y'all are using the system the way it's not supposed to be used.
Oh man.
If I truly hush. Because if you could work this out,
biggie,
you wouldn't be in my courtroom. If you knew how to have a discussion with your wife that didn't end up with the police coming on at least 3 occasions, I would not be talking to you. So nothing you say to me is going to help.
Damn.
We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to take that class. That's what you're going to do. And I'm not modifying anything. Any more contact y'all have together other than paying child support for them kids or sending money to the house for those kids, then all bets are off. Both of y'all, you lose that good job. I'm not playing.
Somebody's got to move out.
Calling the police to moderate your situation. That's what therapy is for.
If I was him, I'd be like, well, she's got to leave.
Oh boy.
She already out. She got her bags already packed, Your Honor. So I'm thinking I
Starting
should stay at the
another
house
state.
with the kids.
By the way,
Ooh.
I think that getting a talking to about facts like that would mean more to me than getting sitting in jail all night.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, just
But some of these people just goes in one ear and out the other.
yeah, it's very true.
I hear you. Can
If
I
y'all
ask you a
been together
question?
9 years, no, listen to me. If y'all been together
Lately.
9 years and y'all still don't know how to talk to each other, if y'all been married 9 years and you still don't know how to talk to each other, y'all been together 16 years, you still don't know how to talk to each other, and y'all have 3 kids are in this situation, go to family counseling. Figure it out. But the police ain't here to counsel you.
Walt.
I'm clear. And Mr. Carpenter, you're going to end up in jail and you're going to lose whatever livelihood you got if you don't figure out how to walk away. When the argument gets heated, walk away. But what we don't need is you to keep calling officers in here to modify or moderate your situation. That ain't what we do. That's not what they do. So now, Ms. Carpenter, you had a question.
Oh shit.
Yes, I did. Well, for starters, I want to kind of piggyback off what you said. You know, I might have missed. I don't know if me saying mediate a situation made it seem like I'm missing.
Flusha, thank you. Yes, okay. I'm glad we could provide some service. She's getting ready to dig herself a hole, Mikey.
Yeah, she's gonna say something stupid.
This is not good.
Thing officers
Well, it does,
to be
ma'am,
my counselor
because
that's not the case.
You telling
not
us,
the case.
well, I'm not scared of him. I want him back. I
Right.
can't remember how
Yeah.
many times I have called the police. Oh my God, but I love him and I want to work with him. This is not what we're here for.
Okay, so to my question, if we are, if the order is still in place, how are we supposed to move from this point on? Because we currently reside together. I can't just,
Ms.
move out
Carpenter,
with my kids.
This,
Or
once again, you're asking me for therapy, and that's not what I do. What we do is separate people when there's a situation that is volatile, and we make that situation safe. And then what we do is we determine if there's someone who has committed a crime. And if that is the case, then I deal with the adjudication of the crime. And so the police are like first responders. All they're there to do is to make sure that they assess the situation. If there's a criminal act being taking place, that they deal with that and they keep people safe. That's what they're there to do. When it gets to me, I'm just here to adjudicate the case. So the two sides, the defense and the state, will come before the court, and either they're going to have a trial or they're going to have a plea or they're going to figure it out some other way. But my job is not to counsel you and work out how y'all going to deal with your kids, because y'all could have been in counseling years ago and figured this out for yourself. So no, that's not my job. What I know is,
I think you misunderstood.
When a bond condition is imposed, that means there's no contact. And if I'm going to keep putting stuff in writing, but if people keep failing to read it, because at any point prior to this point, prior to 2022, February 28th of 2022, if y'all had a situation where y'all felt like the bond condition needed to be modified, it could have been modified. But instead of that, y'all just decided we just going to keep dealing with each other because we don't pay attention to the written word that says Mr. Carpenter's not to have contact. Read, people, read.
Laughing.
My supervising judge, when I was a magistrate, she used to say to me, read, judge, read, because everything you need to know is on those documents. That's why you have bond conditions. And not only do they tell you to read them, there's a judge who tells you at first appearance, look, you're not to have contact with this person. Did first appearance for 4 years, so I know. So, Mr. Carpenter, if you were goofy enough to not read your bond conditions and still go back, that's on you, sir. But I don't want this situation where y'all are using us. Go to counseling, but not right now. Mr. Carpenter is going to counseling because there's going to be a new bond condition for him to take the family violence intervention course. Miss Carpenter, I don't know what you're going to do, ma'am, because that's not my job. Managing you is not my job. Managing your relationship, not my job. Managing what's going to happen to your kids because you keep calling the police, not my job.
That was literally a year ago.
What's your point? It's not resolved.
I mean, you okay, that's understandable, but you guys are acting
Hands
like
out, Creed.
we've been together 16 years and it's 2 incidents where he went to jail. Like y'all acting like
Ashley,
we call the police and we just have
what
them
I'm
come out
hearing
every
was
6
3
months to counsel us. That's not the case. That's just not the case. I just feel like it's being exaggerated, but okay, Judge.
Well, ma'am, I've been married 15 years, been together with my husband probably 19 years, and we ain't never had to call the police. So
that's a blessing.
No, it's intentional. We know how to act.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
That's intentional. We know how to act. Rago. Monkey.
Learn how to act.
Hello.
Good seeing you, Monkey.
She really tried to backpedal out of that. Like, well, I wasn't really mean. She tried to downplay the entire thing, right?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
the whole reason why she said about calling them in the first place for mediation. That was her whole point. And then she wants to go back on
after she gets her ass ripped apart.
Right. And she's like, no, Your Honor, you're wrong. You misunderstood me. You misunderstood the way I said that.
That's just it. So I don't know what's going to happen with you and your kids and all of that, because that's not my job. But what I'm saying to you is the one thing I'm going to do to help you is not put Mr. Carpenter in jail right now. Because I fully see this is an effort. This is a collaborative effort between the two of you. But Mr. Carpenter, the bond condition stays in place. Mess up again if you want to. So you and your client, your attorney, decide whether we're going to try this case soon or whether y'all going to resolve it some other way. But I'm not playing. I'm not playing these silly games. I'm not here to figure out what y'all going to do with your children or what y'all going to do with your relationship. Really, that's not my job.
Wow.
That was
thank you.
That dude's really lucky that he wasn't cuffed and stuff and taken in.
I think the only reason he didn't get put in was because he is quote unquote the breadwinner, and he'd probably lose his job. He's got all these mouths to feed, and I mean, it seems like his job is the only thing he's doing right. Everything else he's just screwed up on.
Well, and he kind of sort of almost screwed up on. He wasn't too happy about when they threw out the idea of him going to that program.
Yeah, he should have been thanking her. Instead, they were complaining.
All right, you're Derica Johnson. And Ms. Johnson was previously in court, entered pleas of true in a motion to revoke probation to counts 1 through 4. On probation for aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury, and that was a 6-year deferred probation. I've received an updated pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
That we don't know. Listen, she said she's not there for therapy. She's not there for a counselor. You two got to figure that out. Basically, is what she was saying. But
yeah, you want to figure out the living arrangements and stuff because y'all can't live together no more. Right
do you think that they're living together? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought so too. That's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah, John.
Are there any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
And there was no agreement, correct? I'd agree. Also, just for everyone, and if we can get copies if you guys need it, I am also reviewing jail incident reports as well. Mr. Rojas, you may proceed.
Judge, as the court knows, this is Ms. Johnson's third motion to revoke. She's been given opportunities in the past to comply with ISF, MRT, and some mental health counseling. She hasn't taken advantage of all those opportunities. She has some CPS cases going on. She's kind of doing a double load case where she got some CPS cases in Harris County. She's taking some classes through there, and that had been her focus up to now, is trying to get her kids back. I've discussed this current motion with her. She understands that the options the court has this morning are to book a probation center to prison, or to try one more time and get her some help through either ISF or safety.
She's already on her 4th try.
Ms. Johnson this morning, I think the option that she would rather do is to ask the court for some mercy and give her the lowest amount of time in prison possible. We would request something in the neighborhood of 2 to 4 years. She, at this point, doesn't feel that she needs a drug treatment, and the ISF program is this thing that, well, she was removed last time because she's pregnant. She's not pregnant right now, so I think this would be the perfect time for her to get ISF and get that help.
Or prison.
But she tells me that she doesn't want it. She just had to go to prison to get this case over with.
Ms. Malfino?
Judge, I concur with Ms. Lopez's updated PSI. It's very thorough and goes through every opportunity this individual has been.
Really quick, if you're on, I mean, I'm on an Android, but I'll show you what I can do and how that works for me. Right down here, I press this little money thing. I think I can do it.
Creed X
Down at the bottom.
$100 worth of memberships.
Yeah. Whoops. Anyways, it's kind of blurry, but it says right there.
Yeah.
Membership gifting. However, Kim, if you're on a Apple phone, it might be different. I'm pretty sure
You're gonna have a long haul.
Yeah.
If you got a laptop around, you might want to bust that out.
There you go. That's probably better. Yeah, super sticker, super chat, membership, and then membership gifting all right there. So that's the Android way, anyways. The Apple way,
By the court. It's a shame she doesn't want the help. Really could help her. I mean, if she was using last time she was pregnant, she's obviously somebody who has an issue that needs to be addressed. But she doesn't want the help, and she shouldn't take up someone else who wants the help spot. And so I think revocation is appropriate with something at least in the mid-range.
Just let me look real quick. Let me see what this.
Looks like she had one prior MTRP and was given 120 days sanction at that time in 2023.
I mean,
the facts of the underlying case, I think she threw a bottle at a girl and waved a knife at another. We pled and dismissed on the original. Nobody was injured, judges, just threats, basically.
well, she threw the bottle, attempting to hit someone else, but it
It
hit
hit
someone,
somebody
but it hit
else.
someone else in the head. Well, there's no accidentally. You meant to hit somebody with it. You just hit the wrong person,
throw bottles.
right?
Bad throw.
No, because Miss Johnson, you have been coming here now way too long and been given every single opportunity to stop talking over me. Because right now, what you're looking at that I can do is give you between 2 and 20 years in prison. And the more you talk over me and are disrespectful, the higher number that's going to get. Do you understand? You have been, I'm not even sure how many times now that you've been in here pregnant, using drugs while you're pregnant, while we're trying to get you help. You have 5 kids that you have no custody of. It's the jail incident reports are ridiculous. And then you want to come in and say, I just want to get this over with. Give me a couple years in prison, which you probably have credit for, which is absolutely not what I'm going to do. Give me just a second. The fact that this is kind of your 4th shot at it.
4 times the charm.
I was thinking the prior 3 times, and really. All right, Ms. Johnson, this time I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 through 4 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated assault. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 12 years in the institutional division of Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Am making an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon in your case. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was not an agreement. You do have some rights to appeal. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about that. I'm also handing you the trial court certification, a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk to Mr. Rojas. Good luck to you. You can go back with the bailiff.
12 years.
You may proceed.
It's a lot of chances, it sounds like.
The court can see Mr. Delarosa is an amputee.
Oh, he's an amputee.
Injury a few years ago. Your Honor, we're requesting if the court would consider probation. I believe that Mr. De La Rosa would benefit from being on a mental health caseload as well. He does suffer from some mental issues that I feel that would be beneficial if he could receive care through either MHMR or Spindletop. He understands that he does have prior convictions, so as a convicted felon, so he cannot possess a firearm. And he understands that moving forward, no matter what situation he's in, he cannot have a firearm. Your Honor, he does have 2 children that he would like to be better involved in their lives. One of the main issues that I see in the PSI is education. He has a 6th grade education. I think it would also benefit if he would be allowed and participate in the GED program.
How did he get out of school?
As well,
In 6th grade.
Good question.
Develop some skills so that he can make better decisions and get his high school, at least minimum high school equivalency. There is much history in regards to substance. With regards to substance abuse, it looks like maybe alcohol that he drinks on occasion. And he has no problem, it says, in his recommendations to avoid any association with the co-defendant, Ashley Faye. And as I stated, Your Honor, he would be willing to adhere to any referrals or treatment plans.
Oh, Kirnoth, I hope that's not the case.
I mean, that was one where I was thinking that he had aged out and they just let him out. Like,
I'm wondering. I mean,
they only let you fail so many times. But 6th grade is that's pretty. I mean, it's middle schoolish age, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Junior high.
Or directives that probation may recommend, and so we are requesting probation.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Nichols.
Terry, thank you.
Terry.
Possession of firearm, 1 for aggravated assault with deadly. He should have been habitual. I took into consideration his health issues when I made the offer of an 8-year cap. I don't know that he deserves any more consideration for what has happened to him. You see his gang history, his criminal history. I think 8 years is appropriate.
Mr. De La Rosa, you wanted to say something? So in 2015, you were not a juvenile.
2015, that conviction was like, I think 7 years.
That was your conviction for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. And you got a 2-year sentence.
Yeah, no, but I did my time and I did parole.
Right. So you should have learned. Not that you can't possess a firearm. I mean, and Ms. Holmes is doing the best she can, saying that, you know, you understand and that you can't possess a firearm, but you've already gone to prison for that. So
I was at wrong time. I mean, it wasn't my position due to the fact that I am mistaken. I'm not denying it, but you know, I would just sort of I feel like a second chance or something.
Well,
so I always keep like I want to get thrown in prison, come out when I'm 30 days, something like that.
Well, and I understand. Well, and here's the thing, Mr. De La Rosa, nobody wants to get thrown in prison. And what I do today isn't anything that I'm doing. It's where you've gotten yourself with your history since you've been a juvenile into being an adult, knowing that you cannot possess a firearm. You've got 3 prior felony offenses. One was when you were certified as a juvenile, that first one. And then if you didn't understand the law about deadly weapons, you should have, or carrying a firearm, you should have back in 2015. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement I followed, so you've waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Obviously, we know this now. I'm required by law to read this to you. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term. You should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk to Ms. Holmes. All right, good luck to you.
Wow. That guy didn't have a leg to stand on, though.
Literally, look at you. Your jokes, dad jokes, grandpa jokes.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, but everybody, at the end of the day, we learned you need to read. Read.
I hope you guys learned a little something through that. I did.
That one lady, how many kids? They said she had 5 kids already.
5
in between pregnancies.
That was her, yeah, and that was her like 4th chance. The judge seemed to have known her and that been in front of her
quite a lot. Yeah, she didn't have any of her own kids anymore. I mean, that's terrible. She must have started baking as soon as the oven was warm. She looked young.
No kidding. That was some good graces stuff today. I'm sure it's not going to stop. I would imagine there's a good chance that there's going to be some premieres today, or at least
there is. Creed. As soon as we're done over here, we'll have a premiere over on. We got a case at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we'll a guy. It's either 2 or 2:30. I can't remember. I set it up last night and I was half asleep. The guy comes before Judge Boyd, and he is full of shit. I mean, Creed, this guy comes in and everything that comes in his mouth, I'm pretty sure is an out and out lie.
Oh, God.
So a great time with that, dude. Then over on Credence and Mikey at 3 p.m. Eastern, a different Judge Boyd case. 3 cases, actually. One where true love is going to put this guy behind bars for quite some time. Well, one-sided true love.
And then don't forget, we'll be back live at 4:05 East. Daily show. We do this Monday through Friday, not just with the court, but we do the chase thing, which is not just chases. It's a lot of true crime stuff. You'll see people get arrested. People are probably going to be, I don't know.
Dobby get arrested yesterday.
That was great. I was watching some YouTube video last night, and the Dobby thing popped up, and it really made me laugh about how much fun was that. Anyways, Taco Tuesday today on We Gotta Chase at 4:05. That would be Eastern time, because that's the only way.
We're Eastern.
That's right. We are Eastern. Well,
we're waiting. It's gonna work. Is it gonna work? Did Creed frame right then? Son of a bitch if he didn't. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to thank everybody, and we're going to leave. Yes, the Fuss and Fight Express. This guy, am I right? Former Chad, numero uno, while Gary was right behind. Just saying. Don Flusha, Amateur, and that there, Terry Westlake. Nice of you to come by. We hope you had a good time. We did. Not every video is going to be in Creed. Look for the ones that say case reaction or court reaction or chase reaction, whatever. But all the other ones are just videos. If you didn't want to watch this, don't worry. Everything we just watched will be up for you to check out in just about a couple hours. Love you guys. We'll see you real soon. Stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned.